Sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to find your true path. Meet Bryce. A few months ago, he was working construction, hustling hard just to get by. Then, a gym injury changed everything. He couldn't work anymore. With bills piling up, he knew he needed to figure out something fast. Like many of us, he'd spent countless hours watching YouTube videos about affiliate marketing and online business, but nothing seemed to click. Today, Bryce runs Impact Rise, a thriving Instagram page with over 210,000 followers that's growing by 5,000 new followers every single day. His content goes viral so consistently that business owners are now paying him to manage their short form content too. But here's what makes the story different. This isn't just about follower counts. This is about a complete 180-degree life transformation that happened in just a few months. In this interview, Bryce shares exactly how he went from being sidelined by injury to building a thriving online empire. He reveals the mindset shifts that changed everything and how he turned a desperate situation into an opportunity that completely transformed his life. Let's dive in. All right, Bryce. So thanks for coming on. Super glad to have you here today. You have a unique story, so I wanted to bring you on specifically. And thanks for coming on. First of all, I would just like you to kind of like introduce yourself, where you're from, what you do, and kind of who you are.
Yeah, for sure. So, my name's Bryce. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, in United States. Um, I guess before you mean like before what I was
Yeah.
doing before?
Yeah, what were you doing before like we even met, I guess, and how you found out about me and what you do today as well.
Yeah. So, before I was working in a lot of hard labor jobs. I ran my own roofing company for a while. But yeah, I mean, just a bunch of little stuff like that that I was kind of tired of slaving away at.
Yeah.
And I was really into fitness my whole life. So I was always working out, and I had hurt myself while working out, and I had to take off of work for a while. And the company that I was working for at the time, they weren't trying to hear it, even though I was not to toot my own horn, pretty much their best worker for the department that I worked for. So when that happened and they told me that I couldn't miss one more day, I was like, screw it, I'm done with it. And I had already been watching a bunch of YouTube videos about how to make money online for a while. And so when that happened, um, I had seen a video by you and I was just listening to it while I was riding around in the car because that's what I would always do is listen to podcasts or, different things. And I had bought an affiliate marketing masterclass like 2 weeks before, right? And it was like a YouTube masterclass. It was so surface level, BS. And so I was listening to, what you were saying, and it sounded like you really knew what you was talking about, as far as like the free value you were giving. And so I didn't like commit to anything on the first time, and then somehow you came across on my Instagram, and I looked more into it, and for a couple months, I just been bouncing around from business model to business model. I was getting really frustrated, to be honest. I was just a bunch of not taking action, I guess. But yeah, I came across you, and I listened to some more videos, and I was like, yeah, I think this is the way. It's a low barrier to enter. And yeah, so I mean, we hopped on a call, and you kind of sold me instantly, and the crazy thing is it was storming by my house, so the connection kept going in and out,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much how it went. Uh, but yeah, I had came across a bunch of gurus, who like after a while I started to be able to decipher, the fluff from the real value after a while, and I had never really came across somebody that was sharing the info that you were, So yeah, I guess that's pretty much, how we're here now.
Appreciate you sharing that. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, I remember that call, the first call we had. I was like, all right, so this is the program, like that's how it works.
Yeah.
This is the price, like what do you want to do with it? And you're like, yeah, I want to be in. I'm like, okay, like here's the registration link. And then all
Click.
of a sudden, like connection dies, and I'm like what happened here? And then like I tried calling you, and you didn't pick up. I was like, okay, like something happened maybe. And then you called me back. You're like, yo, like my connection cut out. Can we jump back on a call? Like I want to be in. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, no problem. So it was a funny start at the beginning, but yeah, I remember
yeah,
you told me like you've been watching many videos on YouTube on how to make money online, but you never like actually, I guess, like seriously took action when it comes to
yeah.
like doubling down on something, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. Like I said, I mean, I bought that affiliate masterclass, the YouTube masterclass, and I watched that. I was so pumped. I remember I took a video of myself, and I was like, this is where I changed my life at, type of thing. And moral of the story, that didn't happen. It was
Yeah.
just basic information like how to set up a YouTube channel, um, do product reviews, which I already knew just from watching, the free info. Um, but yeah, so I was bouncing around the thing to thing. I was writing in a notebook, just a little bit about every business model. And I think the first person I heard talking about Instagram automation was you. But then, like I said, I didn't fully commit the first time I heard. And then there's somebody else, I forgot. I've brought him up to you before. But anyway, I was looking into him and I was like, nah. So, I came back to your YouTube and like I said, you came across somehow on my Instagram. I guess it was just meant to be. But I'm super, super happy this is how it happened though.
Yeah.
Because I was in a real tough spot in my life, around then. And th this program has done more than just, gave me an opportunity to, set up a profitable business. It's changed my mindset all around. Like,
Yeah.
and I've told you that, a couple of times, but I don't think you really know the level of how much it's actually changed my life in general.
I really appreciate that. That's really cool to hear. That's why I keep on doing this. It's like people ask me like all the time, like, if you're making so much money from Instagram, like, why would you coach people? Why would you do that? Here you go. Here's the answer. Bryce just like gave the biggest compliment in the world just for the work I do. When you work with faceless brands, that's like, I think, one of the best business models to start when you're a beginner. But, I've been a business owner for close to like 4.5 years, close to 5 years now, trying a bunch of different stuff out. And at some point, you want to do something you really like personally, like from within, and that fulfills you, right? So now, with, working with various people, like it's really cool to just hear, like, yo, like all the information you shared with me actually like changed my life. Because for me, that information is like just my day-to-day thoughts,
Yeah,
at this point. It's like normal. Like it's not like I'm gatekeeping it or whatever. It's like just normal information, like my day-to-day life. I don't see it as like something incredible. But when I share it with some like beginners and people who are starting in this, they're like, whoa, that's crazy, So it's pretty
right.
cool to see that. And that was another reason why I wanted to bring you specifically because you told me like you had like a great transformation in general, like in your
Mhm.
life and your mindset. So I'm like, yeah, it just like that decision to start working with me changed everything for you, in the past, I guess, year or so. So it's like
Yeah.
pretty crazy. I guess like you've been watching like so many business models, right? And on YouTube, there's probably like trading, affiliate marketing, drop shipping. Like there's so many different business models that you can start. I guess what stood out to you exactly about like Instagram automation and why you decide to do that?
Basically, I mean, I've heard this a few times from, from other people, and my answer is the same as you can do anything, you could do all of those, business models, pretty much with Instagram. And like I said, it was, you didn't have to really have any capital to start off with. Um, unless you want to invest in an amazing mentor, which I highly recommend. Fast track yourself. But yeah, and like I said, I had past experience in editing. Well, like I told you before, I had past experience in editing. I knew a lot about Instagram, and I just knew, like all of those business models, they're all, they all have to do with getting traffic from somewhere. So that was another big reason is, it just all around I feel it's the best, the best business model and the smartest business model for a beginner to start off with.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, that makes sense. So I guess when you were like okay, I want to do Instagram. Like, why did you choose to work with me specifically? Was it just like my YouTube videos or was it something specific?
Yeah, well, like I said, I came across a couple of your YouTube videos and like wasn't even really watching them. Like I would, I'd put it down or it would be playing on my radio or whatever. And yeah, I was just listening. I was like, that's interesting. There was a bunch of different things you were saying, and I was like, yeah, I haven't heard that from, so and so. Um, but yeah, like I said, mainly just it was just all of the free value I could have took and, went ahead and did well for myself as well. But and it was really the call too that we had. I was like, yeah, he
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about, and you sound real, genuine apart from a lot of these people, um, that I've came across and, listened to as well. So yeah, I mean, just you as a person, man. I don't know.
I
You know,
appreciate it. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess like because I invest in, mentors as well. When I'm looking for a mentor, it's always like who's the most genuine. Like if there would be like a different situation, could I be boys with the guy? That's usually how I think about it. Like, could we just like hang out and chill for like an hour and he wouldn't piss me off? If the answer is yes, then it's like, okay. And then if they have the knowledge, and it's like the perfect mentor,
right.
That's the way I think about it. So I guess for you, like, you made the decision and you came into the program. So since then, like what was the biggest transformation you have experienced?
I mean, like I said, it's definitely my mindset, and that's, I was listening to you and Dave's, you know, interview you did, and it's the same thing. Like I was really glad that the whole program starts off with mindset, because, I had looked into that type of stuff before, and then, there was just I didn't know there was a certain level of you know and I started really implementing those things and is that in the very beginning I'm sure you could tell how I was, I was doubting about everything and always questioning things and which I guess is okay, to a certain point, but I was just always, overthinking everything. And then now, it's just, I feel like I've built sort of a bulletproof mindset. I still doubt at times, but it's definitely, I've definitely built a real strong mindset. And I would say that's better than most things that I have gained from the program.
Yeah, it's just like you will take the mindset with you forever. Now you
Mhm.
have it. So, Instagram 30 years down the line may not exist. No one's going to use that. But the mindset and the lessons you learned so far in the past few months, you'll take those with you forever. When you're like 70 years old, you'll still have the mindset. Like no one's going to take away that. Like even if you go in debt or you drain your bank accounts and your business fails or whatever, you'll still have that mindset no matter what. Like it doesn't change who you are because now you changed like yourself within. You became a different human being now, which is incredible. So yeah, that speaks to me a lot because I know like obviously in our program, we talk about like Instagram and email newsletters and monetization and growth, which is like the main part. But the funny thing is, like, if you don't have the right mindset, you can learn all of that and you'll still fail. But if you have the right mindset, that's like, and you have the knowledge, like the mindset is like 80% of the success because you'll wake up in the morning, you'll keep doing what you need to be doing, you'll keep learning, you'll keep applying the knowledge you gained just because of your mindset, not because of, the fact that if you post 3 times a day consistently, like you can blow up or whatever. So yeah, like that's super incredible. So like I guess for you, how has the frameworks I shared with you and everything like kind of changed the way you did Instagram, right? And I guess the question is, what was the most impactful strategy for you learning how to actually go viral and like gain followers? Because I remember at the beginning, like you were really struggling with the content and you were like, what am I doing wrong? And for me, it was like super clear what was wrong. And for you, you felt like you were doing everything correctly. So like what changed and what was like the strategy that changed everything for you?
Yeah, man, I think just being consistent it was most of it. Obviously using the frameworks every day, and being structured with what you do. They're having a swipe file, batch creating on days if you have to, just different things like that. And yeah, it took me a long time. That's what a lot of people I guess don't know is, I was in the same position as, some of the people that are in the group now. I have insane momentum now, but I was not there for a long time and I was struggling, even though I did have past, editing experience. But yeah, the frameworks have really what got it done for me, to be honest, because if, there was no framework, I would still be in the same position.
Yeah.
There was no market research, which I forgot to bring up. I think is the most important thing that you do teach. And I think I said it the other day. And I'm glad you teach it that way. It just applies to a lot of aspects of life as well. But yeah, I was doing that wrong for a long time too. I kept
Yeah.
asking you this questions and that's another thing I salute you for, man, is I would ask the same questions over and over again. And you never got, pissed off or anything. It shows like you're really genuine and want to help. And yes, I mean I
Yeah.
eventually got it done though, but you definitely have to, implement the framework for sure. Or it would take you a pretty long time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So like for the viewers, give some sauce about like you had days where you grew like 5K followers a day or whatever. Like
Yeah.
for the viewers who are watching, what's the sauce? Like what's the secret that helped you to get to that point, from like absolute zero where you didn't know what you were doing to the point where you're like growing 5K a day with your page.
Yeah, like I said, the market research, showing up, even though if things don't connect with you at first, within a course or with whatever, stuff that artists may be saying, if they don't connect, just by you continuing to show up, eventually it'll click and you'll be like, oh wait, that makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? And you sort of just kind of get the feeling of, how to keep the retention up, different things like that. And just like I said, the market research is the most important, keeping a spreadsheet or, however you have to do it, Google Docs. It's I feel like that's the most important thing in, actually growing, keeping up with the trends. And doubling down. Doubling down is what I've been doing, for what, month and a half now, over a month and a half now. It's the same thing, doubling down, doubling down. It's, viral streaks of 6 to 7 viral videos in a row.
Crazy. That's insane. Yeah, like every time I go on your page now, I'm like surprised. Like, how do you go viral each and every video, like one after another, back to back to back? But hey, that's the combination. A lot of people who've tried this and let's say they kind of like gave it a shot. I think when you do this, you shouldn't just give it a shot. You need to go all in to actually see like incredible success. But a lot of people say, oh, but you just stay consistent and you grow, right? This business model is super simple. Like I've heard that so many times myself, that's what people say. But you do realize, and I realize that consistency, obviously, it's extremely important to show up every day, but it's definitely not the only thing. So, like market research and stuff that you mentioned, is probably more important than just the consistency because if I consistently post really bad content, nothing's gonna happen with my page, right? You're probably gonna lose followers. But
It's a
if I even
combination.
post like a bit inconsistently, but extremely good content, you're gonna still grow. And when you do everything correctly, so you post at the right times, you post really good content, you do the market research, you stay consistent, that's the recipe for, 6, 7 back to back to back viral videos, like nonstop going viral, which is happening for you right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I've been growing anywhere from 2 to almost 6K a day for a while now, for some weeks now. I
Yeah.
think my average is 2K right now. So yeah,
Wow.
definitely have to implement. Yeah, it's definitely not just consistency. Um, you know, it just like we're talking about with the frameworks, you have to implement it all together.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, because yeah, the consistency along with just posting the same thing over and over again or doing the same thing over and over again, you can't expect results from that, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. No, you're right. And another thing like I want to touch on, I know you're growing really quick, but I want to touch on your journey of, actually building like a business, monetizing and stuff like that, because also you chose like a path where like most people usually come up with something else, but you found like a path for yourself. So would you mind sharing a bit with the viewers like what you're working on right now, how that's going? Like you obviously just started like to work on it, but it's something amazing.
Yeah. So the page I originally started off with, where I learned everything at, where, I really put the reps in, learned along the way. When I left that page alone and, put my focus on another one, people started to reach out to me and I wasn't even posting. But I just had a portfolio of high quality work. And, people started to see it more and more, and people they was loving the quality of work, and kept reaching out to me to ask if I would be interested in creating their content for them. And it was just day after day of people reaching out left and right, left and right. So I was like, there might be something here. But then I caught some crazy momentum on my big page right now. So I started going through and created an agency, a short form content agency. And within the span of just a few months, I've already seen a good, a decent return. And that's on a page with only 2,200 followers.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's pretty,
yeah.
it's pretty cool. And like I say, I always say, I would not be here this fast without the help of Varnish for sure. Um, because the agency, the way there's some things about it, within the program and everything, but there's a whole different business model. He, technically teaches, but he's helped and gave the value, for me to, make an income through my agency as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, because like growing an agency is like a whole different thing, right? But it is an option because usually the bottleneck for agency owners is the traffic, right? They might have like really good service and like it makes sense to sell it at the price point which they're asking, and there are business owners who want to pay that, but then they're struggling to get the clients, like get the leads. So what you've done with your page is just like you get inbound leads for free. Like you get people reaching out to you saying, "Hey, like I want to pay you for this type of content." And it's pretty crazy that with 2,200 followers, like I don't know, you already got like a few clients which are like pretty cool clients. They're not just like, small fishes, they're like pretty successful business owners, and you're just like creating content for them and making money from that. Um, and I guess like having a set of editors, in our program help you a bit as well, just to handle that kind of workload, with the agency as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, most of the work that I've had is all inbound, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because all I have to do is maybe post a story or two. I have a landing page being built, which I feel will, really push this along. But yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's from a page with 2,200 followers. And yeah, I mean, I plan to continue to go up and up and up with it.
Yeah, love it. No, that's great. So far, like, what specific results have you had or like achieved so far, since starting this journey? I don't know, like, whatever, changes in lifestyle, just like changes in mindset, but also like how many followers have you gained so far? Like, what have you learned through the journey? What would you say the main achievements are?
Well, I would say the main achievement here is actually sticking with something that, was really, really rough at sometimes. But that's the whole part of the mindset part. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep saying it, man. That my mindset, like, and I know you know a little bit about my story and everything, but it was just totally different. And just like, being on the camera or doing something like this was not me. And as you can tell, I'm, still not kind of used to it. But yeah, just just my mindset in general, man. How I structure my life. Yeah, building something as big as I've built, it's, still unbelievable. Finally achieving the results that, I sat there and wrote my goals down every night over and over again, and for a while they felt so far, but it happened so fast. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, it like I said, man, I would not be here as fast as I am, without the program, without Honest. And it's literally been a full 180 in my life, because I was in a bad spot before, I actually committed to this, like I said. So yeah, and as far as how many followers I've gained, within the last 30 days, I think it's like 60,000. The big page has 210K as of right now. And like I said, the other one I've grown 2,200 followers on. Um, yeah, I think I have 25 million accounts, 25.4 million accounts reached in the last 30 days.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and like I said, just viral streaks back to back to back to back to back. My shooting average is pretty nice right now.
Love it.
But yeah, and just I'm just glad that I've built the skills that I have, as far as content creation and different, sales or whatever it is, that I've learned that I never really thought I would learn. I don't know, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it's been an amazing experience, and I'm only getting better each and every day. So
I love it, man. Like with the mindset stuff, you're writing down these goals. I can tell you one thing. It's usually like very slow at first and it's all slow, but then it comes all at once. It's like slow and then all at once. And you're just like, what did just happen? Like think about it. You were struggling to post like content and gain any followers, and now like you get back to back like 7 viral reels. You're growing thousands of followers per day, reaching tens of millions of people every month. Just like and you're still in the same room as you were a few months ago, but now you're a completely different person, right? So your environment, in terms of like physical environment, hasn't changed a lot, but your environment, like on the internet, you're surrounded by different people. The information you consume is way different, and you literally became like a different person. It's like a snake sheds their skin. Like that's what happened. You have like you're like a newborn now. Like you're a completely different person, and it's crazy that you can do it in a few months with just like your mindset and your thoughts, and actually taking action. So I really appreciate you like sharing everything like that here, coming on. Like it's super inspiring even for me to hear. It's like I need to do more now, when I hear something like that. So let's say someone's watching this right now, and like they're thinking about it. They're like, maybe I should start a page myself, like get into this business, learn new skills, fix my mindset. Like, what would you say to someone who's just like thinking about, their own like Instagram automation business?
I would say quit waiting and take action now, because that's all I was doing was thinking for a while, and
Yeah.
that did nothing but made me spin and spin and spin and spin, and I was getting frustrated. I had a buddy of mine that we were trying to make it work, man. We was back and forth with ChatGPT trying to figure out all kind of stuff, and it wasn't until I was like, all right, look, I'm gonna just take action, screw it, and you know, uh, that's what I recommend is take action as fast as you can.
Love that. Love that. No, that's great. So, like, maybe the last question I have for you is like just very simple. You were watching these videos, you were like researching, you probably thought about this business as like a small side hustle or whatever, like just extra way to make money. So, like, how has working with me actually changed your perspective on like what's possible in the space?
Yeah, yeah, that was a major thing I forgot to even mention. There's a lot of things I forgot to mention, but yeah, just like the way I think about business, yeah, the way, I really didn't even know that these things were being done on Instagram. Like you said, there's a lot of people who just see these pages but think, they don't think anything of it. They think it's just somebody doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Um, it's actually people making, some serious money doing it. And yeah, so like I said, I didn't really know. I thought it, might be a little way to make some, extra money, but yeah, working with you has made me see so much stuff different and actually what's possible because that's what I was struggling to see in the beginning. That's why I was struggling to write down goals. I was struggling to visualize stuff is because I didn't know what was possible until I actually started implementing and actually paying attention and taking action, and then it all starts to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Bryce, you have anything else you want to share with the viewers? Anything you want to tell them? Like just a message to everyone who's watching.
And I would say 10 out of 10 would recommend to join the program. If there was anybody else, and like I said, I've researched a bunch of people, and I haven't came across anybody doing it like Arnest. So if you want to fast track and actually, get somewhere and make a profitable, consistent business model, then I would take action with Arnest.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Well, thanks for coming on again. Thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for sharing a really nice message with everyone. And yeah, I'll see you in the next coaching call. But everyone else, thanks for watching.
Thank you.